In recent news, global aviation leaders are raising the alarm that the industry's recovery and future growth are being seriously constrained by persistent supply chain disruptions that have lingered since the COVID-19 pandemic. Even as air travel demand recovers and passenger numbers expand, particularly in fast-growing regions like Asia-Pacific, aircraft manufacturers such as Airbus and Boeing, along with major engine builders, are struggling to keep up with parts shortages and production delays. Those bottlenecks are not only slowing delivery of new aircraft, but are forcing airlines to keep older, less fuel-efficient planes in service longer than planned, raising operational costs and limiting capacity expansion. On the geopolitical front, tensions between major powers are increasingly spilling into commercial aviation logistics and regulation. Issues like U.S. import tariffs and certification disputes have disrupted traditional cargo flows and made cooperation between regulators more difficult. Industry leaders describe this as the weaponization of supply chains, especially where critical materials such as rare earth elements, vital for aircraft components, are involved. These geopolitical frictions have already shown up in shifting patterns for freight volumes, with air cargo between some regions falling while other corridors grow. These industrial and political headwinds come at a time when the industry is also striving to meet ambitious climate goals. The International Air Transport Association, IATA, which represents roughly 350 airlines worldwide, has committed to achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2050. However, the shortage of new, more efficient aircraft and the limited supply of sustainable aviation fuel, SAF, a key tool for reducing carbon emissions, are making that target much harder to reach. With SAF production still a very small fraction of global jet fuel use, airlines are burning older fuel-hungry planes and facing rising costs for both fuel and maintenance, complicating the transition to cleaner flying. Industry leaders warn that if these production and supply issues persist, airlines may be forced to reconsider or delay key climate pledges at upcoming industry gatherings. Such delays could weaken global efforts to cut emissions from aviation, a sector responsible for around 2 to 3% of total global carbon output. At the same time, disagreements over roles and responsibilities between airlines, engine makers, and fuel producers are intensifying, further underscoring structural tensions within the industry. The combined effect of these supply chain constraints, political frictions, and climate challenges means that the aviation sector, once expected to quickly bounce back after the pandemic, may now face a prolonged period of constrained growth. While passenger demand is still rising, especially in markets like China and India, outdated infrastructure and geopolitical uncertainties could limit how quickly airlines can expand service and modernize fleets. Leaders at the Singapore Aviation Summit and upcoming Singapore Air Show are pushing for more coordinated global action, stronger regulatory alignment, and innovations to avoid bottlenecks and meet future demand sustainably. In summary, economic growth in airlines is being checked by deep structural hurdles, not just by lingering pandemic effects, but by global politics and climate commitments that now intersect with business realities. These dynamics have broad implications for travel costs, trade logistics, airline profitability, and international cooperation on carbon reduction, making this one of the most consequential stories in global geopolitics and economics today.